if you're trying to have it all figured out, that's going to hold you back because you're scared that when you step forward and you don't have it all figured out, people are going to be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's not the expert. If you can shift that and you're literally willing to look like an idiot and to make mistakes, you're going to come again from a very different energy. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt-out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt-out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello there, pretty ladies. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am Sandy Patterson, your host and certified life and business coach, and I am so thrilled and just so honored that you are here with me today to spend a couple minutes just chatting like we do, right? You are the reason that I do this podcast. You are the reason that we're here right now. And I just appreciate you. And I'm so happy that you're here today. So this episode is probably going to drop a little bit late. And this is interesting. I had this realization that when I left teaching, I brought a lot of really bad habits from teaching with me into this new chapter of my life and into this business that I have built. And this one specific bad habit is doing things on a very, very rigid schedule versus doing things when I feel really inspired and really motivated to do them. And I talk about this all the time, like, yeah, you're not always going to feel motivated or inspired, but I'm playing with this idea that there are things in my business that I shouldn't be doing just because I feel like I have to do them. I should be doing them because I feel inspired. And when I put things out into the world, when I'm feeling inspired versus when I feel like I have to do something, I'm just kind of playing with that energy to see how it feels. And like in teaching, right, we're on a very, very rigid schedule. We plan our days to the minute, and it feels like if we fall behind, like everything's going to fall apart. And we're used to like running that hamster wheel constantly. And so this is one of those habits that I brought with me into my business. And it has served me, don't get me wrong, like it's served me very well. But I'm just realizing that I didn't start this business to feel like I'm on the hamster wheel still. I started this business to feel better because I left teaching literally because at the end of the day, I didn't like who I was. And so here I am now, and not that I don't like who I am now in my business at all. It's quite the opposite, but I just am being more cognizant about these habits and about the way things have to be or the way that we think things should be. And for those of you that know me too in real life or even know me in a coaching capacity, you know that I am very, very disciplined. Like I don't have a problem with discipline at all. I work out every day. I eat the same thing for lunch every day. I drink my water every day. Like I do all of the things because I know that those things are going to make me feel good in the future. But in business, I think that I've gotten into this habit of the discipline, right? Like I need to record the podcast episode on Friday at noon, like from 12 to 12:30. That's when I have the podcast recording scheduled. And then at 12:45, I send it over to the editor and she fixes it up. And then on Monday, it's pushed out. And it's like, well, what happens if on Friday at noon, I don't feel inspired? I don't want to create something that is not feeling inspired. So here I am today, a couple weeks late, and nothing has fallen apart. Nothing has burned down. Everything is perfectly fine. So just playing with this idea. So maybe you didn't even notice that this podcast episode was dropping late. It's all good. No matter when you're listening to it, it's totally fine. But I guess that could be a whole nother episode too, is this idea of these bad habits that we pick up from teaching. And I've talked to a lot of clients lately who have these different things that are popping up. So I'll come back to that idea when I'm feeling inspired, right? But anyways, I had this realization, and I've been working with quite a few of my clients recently, and they talk about how they feel like they're doing all the things and it's just not working. And when we say doing all of the things, we mean this is things in their business. We're talking about their business. So doing things like selling their service in stories, doing things like sending the email out, doing things like inviting people into their space, doing things like posting on social media, doing things like recording the podcast episode, for example. And I went through this phase in business as well. So I understand and I get it, and I resonate with this idea of like you feel like you're working so hard and nothing seems to be working. Where I'm not getting the clients, I'm not getting on discovery calls, I'm not making sales essentially. I get it, and I've been there. And this realization for me comes from this reflection looking back at my previous self in the very beginning of both of my businesses, and also as I speak with clients and work them through this phase, right? Because this is the phase where most people will just throw the towel in and quit and be like, it's not working. I'm giving up. I'm going to go do something else. I'll go back to teaching. I'll go find another job. I'll go do whatever. It's the difference between staying and pushing through and quitting that's going to determine whether you succeed or fail. And if we get rid of the timeline and we say your success is inevitable, if you believe your success is inevitable, you're going to keep going, right? So the reason that it's not working, you're doing all the things and it feels like it's not working, is because you don't believe in the value that you bring to the table. You are essentially stopping yourself. You're still feeling that imposter syndrome, or you're walking on eggshells because you're just not quite sure if you can deliver or if people will see you as the expert. Okay? So take a minute to let that sink in. Are you coming to the table as the expert? Do you have full confidence in yourself and this service that you provide? Because if you don't believe those things, if you're not 100% on board that you are the expert and you are like just the freaking best thing that's ever happened to your clients, nobody else is going to believe it either. And you got to dig here. You got to dig a little deep here like we do around here on this podcast, right? And decide if you believe there's no doubt in your mind that what you have to offer is exactly what your clients need in this moment. It's exactly what they want, what they're waiting for, what they need, what they are so excited to have and to be able to get their hands on and to work with you in this capacity. So maybe you're like, yeah, I do feel really, really confident. But maybe you're also like, gosh, you're right. This is it, Sandy. Like, this is it. I am doing all the things. I have the strategy down. I'm doing the things. I'm going through the actions, but I just still don't feel confident. So the question then becomes, how do we start to feel confident and build our confidence in ourselves and in our service and what we're providing when we're new, right? We just don't have the experience yet. Because confidence typically comes from experience. It doesn't have to. You can just wake up today and decide, I'm going to be confident, like I'm the expert here. And then you just go and move. That's not always an easy thing to do though. Typically, we have to start to stack and build up confidence, build up experience, and take these tiny little moments and stack them until we feel really confident. And if you think about, like, if you go back to like student teaching days, right? When before you were a teacher, you were in like teacher training or whatever you call it, where you live, you didn't feel confident walking into that classroom during student teaching. Like you probably felt terrified, but you did it anyways. Like you just did it. You did something. Maybe you had you probably had support. You got feedback and then you did it again and you just kept going. And even once you got your teaching credential and you had your first classroom, like the first day of school, you don't walk in like, "Ooh, I got this. I'm so good." You probably felt like a hot mess. At least that's what I did. And I look back even on those first couple of years, those first 2-3 years of teaching. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what did I do to those kids? Like what was I doing? I had no idea. But then you keep showing up and you keep doing it and you get confident, right? So here's how in business, the question is, how do we start to feel confident and exude that confidence in ourselves and in our service before we actually feel it? I know we talk about like fake it till you make it, but I don't ever say that. I say like, just be it until you are it. Like you already are that confident person. You wouldn't even be here right now if you weren't. You wouldn't have started a business if you didn't believe in yourself enough to like take those first steps and to do the thing. And just having the idea is proof that it's all possible. You just have to kind of keep going. So here's how I'm going to answer that question for you, because I love a good action item. I love something that you can actually do and go implement to start to build that confidence and feel confident in yourself, even if you're not quite there yet. You're getting there. You're moving towards there. So you keep going. And these are some things that you can do in order to speed that process up, right? Because we live in a society right now that is so like instant gratification. We want it right now. We have an idea and then we want to see it come to life. And in business, that's not always the case. We have to put the time in, we have to put the effort in, we have to nurture our businesses just like we would a garden, right? Like you don't plant a seed and then expect to come out the next morning and have this beautiful fruit tree ready to pull fruit from. It takes nurturing, it takes watering, it takes sunlight, it takes time, it takes patience. And again, of course, it takes dedication, right? So here are some things that you can do today to start to build your confidence in any area of your life. Specifically, we're going to talk about your business and your offer, because if you're doing all the things and it's just not working, it's most likely because you are still not confident in yourself and the service you provide. Okay? Sounds good? I'm going to pretend like you said, yes, this sounds great. Okay, let's do this. So the first thing is to dedicate time to yourself. Now, I, for me, personally call this alignment time. You can call it whatever the heck you want. Call it confidence time, call it me time. And again, I know, you're like, well, I don't even have time to like eat my lunch. You can carve out 5 minutes for yourself. There's no excuse. You can start with 5 minutes and then just continue to build on it. So you're going to dedicate time to yourself to literally just sit and be, and to practice what it looks like talking to yourself as if you were super confident. So this sounds kind of weird, but it actually works. So if you take time, and you can do this laying down, you can do it with your eyes open, with your eyes closed, you can do it sitting, standing, whatever feels good to you. But just dedicate 5 minutes to yourself to talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend, or you would talk to your own child, or you would talk to, I don't know, you're just somebody that you really admire. Like you would say to them, oh my gosh, you are freaking amazing. You can do anything you want. It's basically just like self-talk, like pumping yourself up. So taking 5 minutes to just sit there, whatever, and talk yourself up. Talk about how amazing you are. Talk about how what you bring, all of the wonderful things that you bring to the table, just as you are right now. And this can spill over like your offer too. Like, so I'm a coach, I'm a life and business coach. So if I were doing this, I might say to myself, or I do say to myself, gosh, Sandy, you are amazing. You have this thing that can change somebody's life. And people are really excited to have this. You're freaking amazing. Like, people want what you have. You've done this, and now you're able to help other people do this too. You're able to help people create businesses so that they can leave the classroom and do what they want and have this freedom and be present moms with their kids and not feel so overwhelmed and so icky on Sunday. And you can help people look forward to Mondays again. You are freaking amazing. You have everything you need. That's kind of what that would sound like for me. What sometimes it does sound like that for me, but just taking 5 minutes to like pep talk yourself up and talk to yourself as if you are just the most, which you are. Let me remind you, you are the most incredible person that has ever stepped foot on this planet, and your clients and your people are so lucky to have you. What would you say to yourself in those moments? And don't hold back. It's going to feel weird at first, but just try it. Try it over time. And if you can do it too, do it out loud. You can even record yourself saying these things in like a voice memo or on Voxer and listen back to it. It works wonders because our words really create our reality. So if you're using words with yourself that are not pumping yourself up and that are not building yourself up, you're going to stay in that space where you're like, I don't know. Can I do this? Am I capable of this? Should I all that stuff. Don't do that. Just spend 5 minutes talking yourself up. Okay. The next thing is assume. Now, I don't really ever like to assume anything, but we're going to start to assume here that people want your offer, that people need your offer. And we are going to assume that every person that you start a conversation with, whether it's at the grocery store or in the DMs or your family at Thanksgiving, we are assuming that every person that we talk to wants what we have. Think about how that's going to shift your energy and your perspective and your confidence. If you're coming to the table and you're assuming that people want what you have, you're going to talk about your offer and you're going to bring that energy that's very, very different as opposed to the other energy of the the not confident energy that you maybe are feeling internally right now, which is okay. We're just going to get you past that. That's the goal, to get you past this. So assuming that people want what we have to offer. And if you come to the table, like I'm thinking about my 7-year-old son, he assumes, right, that everything that he has to say is very, very important. So he sits down at the dinner table and he's assuming that we all want to hear about Roblox, and like nobody, I don't want to hear, like, I just don't care, but he's assuming that we all want to hear about Roblox and how many Robux he has and this new game that he found. He's just assuming. He's not assuming otherwise. And of course, I am going to humor him, but come to the table with that assumption that like people want to hear what you have to say and what you have to say is important. Make that assumption. Start with that assumption today. What you have, people want. Maybe not everybody wants it, but your people want it and they're waiting for you. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, and I will die on this hill, action brings confidence and clarity. Okay? You have to do stuff in order to get the clarity and to get the confidence. So you have a lot of questions in the beginning, right? You're like, can I do this? Can I provide this thing? Are my clients going to pay me for this? There's so many questions that we have. To get the answers to those questions, there's no way around it but to just try and to take action. And with this kind of comes the 4th one that I have here, and that's the willingness to look like an idiot and not be perfect. So if you're trying to have it all figured out, that's going to hold you back because you're scared that when you step forward and you don't have it all figured out, people are going to be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's not the expert. If you can shift that and you're literally willing to look like an idiot and to make mistakes, You're going to come again from a very different energy. And you can imagine how that energy is different. If you think of two people, one is like very timid and very scared and it has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not going to work. The other one is like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to experiment with this. I'm going to test things out. I'm probably going to fall. I'm probably going to fail, but that's all good because that's where it's going to get me to what I want to be. In these two situations, again, you can see which one you're more likely to essentially buy something from, right? And as I'm saying this too, these two different scenarios, it's almost like the adult scenario. Like we've been so programmed that everything needs to be perfect and that we have to have everything figured out versus like the kid energy where kids just like plow forward. Same, like you've probably heard this analogy. Is it an analogy? I don't actually know. I was doing homework with my fourth grader the other day and it was like simile, metaphor. I was like, I don't know the difference. So anyways, just, you probably heard this saying before, like kids, they all believe they're an artist, right? They all believe they can draw these beautiful masterpieces, but at some point we're taught that it's not good enough or it's not perfect enough or it's not enough. And then you ask most adults now, like, are you an artist? They're like, no, heck no. So come with the artist, the kid energy here and be willing to just do it messy. Be willing to just go for it. And that with that willingness comes the action. And with the action comes confidence and clarity, my friend. And that's why we're here today, to move you past this space where you feel that imposter syndrome. You feel like, I'm not sure if I can deliver. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if people will want this. I'm not sure if what I have to say is important enough. I am here to tell you today that it is and you are, but you have to believe it first. Like I can sit here all day and tell you you're great and you're wonderful, but if you don't believe it, you're right. You're going to keep doing all the things and it's not going to quote unquote work because you have to believe in yourself first. So today we're going to flip this script. We're going to make a decision. We're going to make a commitment that we're going to stick with this, just like we did when we were student teaching, right? It wasn't always pretty, but we kept going and we kept going and we kept going. And now many of us are or were amazing teachers because you pushed through that uncomfortable part where you were willing to make mistakes. You were willing to just kind of trudge through it. You're going to keep doing that right now in this moment because again, what's going to determine your success is your ability to stay in it and to believe in yourself, to shift this belief in yourself that you are the expert. You have something that is incredible and amazing and that everybody wants. So to recap, the 3 things you can do, 3-ish, 4-ish things you can do today. You're going to dedicate time to yourself, just 5 minutes, to literally start talking to yourself like you are freaking incredible because you are. You are. So start talking to yourself because the way we talk to ourselves, just like with our kids, right? The way we talk to them, that becomes who they are. It's the same with us. And you're with you all day, so you might as well just really build yourself up and see that you're an amazing human being with so much to offer. You're going to assume from here on out that people want what you have and that you just assume that everybody you talk to wants what you have. And then the last thing is action. Take action, even if it's messy, because the action brings confidence and clarity. And the action will come a lot easier if you're willing to just go for it, to be messy, to make mistakes, to not be perfect, and to look like an idiot. I know I keep saying that, but it's a really good visual picture of like, I'm willing, I invite looking like a total idiot. And I really do now. I put myself in situations on purpose where I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to look like such a doof here, but that's the only way to learn. That's the only way to learn. That's the only way to get through to the other side. Okay, you guys, this was so fun. Thank you for being here today. As always, let me know what you think. You can hop on over to Instagram, share it in the DMs. Let me know what resonates with you. Let me know what you're going to try. I can't wait to hear how these little tiny shifts in your energy and your mindset are going to help move you into that next level of your business so things feel like they're starting to work. And also, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a review. It just takes a couple seconds to tap those stars. And what that does is it gets the podcast into the ears of more women just like you who are freaking incredible. So ladies, until next time, build the business, build the confidence, and I will see you back here for the next episode. Okay, bye. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.